I
advice.
did not find it. I did not find
No?
that. Actually, it was the exact opposite. I was consistent in finding a way out. Hence my 3 suicide attempts. Like I was not taking any of this. But what happens, Daniel, is that every day you feel that there is at least 5% of power to push you through. There's something that you find inside. And I think it's something that God gives you when you are struggling. It's a
Mm,
voice that keeps telling you that you got this.
okay.
Now it's just to maintain, not just maintaining حتى it's يعني now I go to therapy as a pure act of self-love to get to know this healed version of me. What else does she want? What else does she like? Who am I without my traumas? Talk to someone, ask
Mm.
for help, do the first step. That's it. If we would narrow it down for one advice, just start. Daniel, the thing about mental fitness is that when you're not willing to help yourself, no one can help you. But as painful as it is, the person who is struggling has to do the work.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Monday Talks again, and this is Daniel Talker. As always, we always have a special guest. And this time, he is a corporate and CEO executive coach and a podcast host, trainer, speaker, author, award-winning business. How is your heart doing today? She talks about self-love, mindset growth, men's mental health, and personal development and mental health awareness. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ray Kobeissi or Rahaf Kobeissi. Good morning, Rahaf.
Hi, Daniel. How are you?
Oh, good. Thank you for being here with me on my Monday Talks.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
amazing, amazing. Okay, let's start by you, just like you introduce yourself. Who's Rahaf?
So as you basically introduced me. I believe that was my LinkedIn bio. uh,
Almost,
so
yeah.
I'm the founder. So I'm the founder of Raise Your Mental Health,
Hmm,
and it's to raise more awareness on mental health, but also to help people bridge the gap between awareness and action. So what's next when it comes to mental health or mental fitness? Now we are replacing mental health with mental fitness. So I work with companies on doing corporate programs on well-being and personal development. I work with individuals on helping them become healthier. I'm a speaker, so
yeah,
I also speak a lot on that in that area. Recently, we have published a collaborative book, which is She is Remarkable, and it's a book that I really recommend people to read it. The podcast host of Don't Be a Man About It, and it's dedicated to men's mental health. So there's that. So as you can see, my life is revolving around making this world a healthier place, if not for us, at least for the generations to come.
beautiful. May I just like say, your personal experience have shaped your work and mission significantly. How did you
100%.
find the strength to turn your tragedies or let's say bad times into a source of motivation and action? What was
I
advice?
did not find it. I did not find
No?
that. Actually, it was the exact opposite. I was consistent in finding a way out. Hence my 3 suicide attempts. Like I was not taking any of this. But what happens, Daniel, is that every day you feel that there is at least 5% of power to push you through. There's something that you find inside. And I think it's something that God gives you when you are struggling. It's a
Mm,
voice that keeps telling you that you got this. And it can come in different shapes. It could be a friend, it could be something you hear, it could be just a therapist says something in your sessions. Um, and then slowly but surely that 5% compounds and it grows stronger, or it grows bigger, until one day you find yourself, wow, I made it. Sometimes that one day it takes years. In my case, it took more than 14 years to actually collect myself psychologically and emotionally, but I just took it 1 minute at a time, not even one day at a time.
And now you have to renew it, or it is there, done. You're safe now.
Now it's just you maintain it. خلاص يعني when you have, because of all the traumas that I had to deal with, the main goal was to heal from those traumas. Let's heal, let's find it, or let's find a way to actually want to live again. And then the next part would be how to, for me to understand my emotions, where are they coming from, what do they mean, and how can I manage those emotions. And then the next step would be, all right, how can I make that as a lifestyle? How can I make this as something that I don't snap back from?
Okay.
Now it's just to maintain, not just maintaining حتى, it's يعني now I go to therapy as a pure act of self-love, to get to know this healed version of me. What else does she want? What else does she like? Who am I without my traumas? This is also was a huge realization for me. Who am I without my traumas? And that's now my journey. Right now, as we speak, this is my journey to discover the woman that I am without my traumas, without my past.
Beautiful. And what kind of advice do you have for others who may be struggling to find their own purpose in the face of adversity?
Talk to someone, ask for help, do the first step. That's it. If we would narrow it down for one advice, just start somewhere. It could be reading about what you're struggling about. Get as much or as many resources as possible. Have at least one friend that you trust and tell them what you need from them. Sometimes حتى يعني, we don't need friends to fix things for us. We just need them to be there for us.
Listening.
That's the sometimes it's as simple as this.
Yeah. But
Find
sometimes when you reach that point, you will get kind of a blind in
true,
encountering
true.
your challenges, right? And then
Absolutely.
you need someone to poke you, not just like, yeah, okay, let me just check my close friend
Yes
and talk
and
to
no.
her. No,
Yes and no
someone
at the
has
same
to
time. You want someone to
interfere.
take you out of your comfort zone, definitely. But also, it really depends on, because Daniel, the thing about mental fitness is that when you're not willing to help yourself, no one can help you, regardless of how much they love you, regardless of how good their intentions are. No one can help someone if they're not willing to put in the work. Yes,
Mm,
we can push them toward the first step, which is helping them to find the right therapist, being there, creating a safe environment for them so they can just let their guards down, to hold their hands while they're struggling. But as painful as it is, the person who is struggling has to do the work.
oh, nice. Okay, talking about mental health. I don't know if you agree with me, it's still some kind of a taboo subject in many cultures and communities. And what are some of your biggest challenges when you have this flag on and you face a breaking down of let's say many characters, or that breaking down those barriers and talking about these private things and admit people that they have problems, or uh, they need help, or they need this supporting environment, right? For discussing such a mental health or well-being in particular.
So it's not as taboo as it was before. Now things are much, much better. Yani the fact that we are here and talking about it means that the conversations are open, and people are ready to listen when it comes to mental fitness. The barrier or the obstacle is the action part. People are
Mm,
not yet taking the action, even though they know what to do. So, for example, people know that they need to go to therapy. They know that they need to heal. They know that this has to be done, but they're not doing it. And they don't do it because of the fear of maybe it's going to be too painful. Maybe it's not going to work out for me. Maybe therapy is not for me. Maybe. So it's
So
the action, it's the gap.
we're not facing the admittance stage, or I admit I have a problem, or
The majority are not there yet.
hmm,
Are not there yet. It really depends on your level of awareness and knowledge on the topic and who are you surrounded with. That's a very important factor actually in healing, because if you are surrounded with people who don't want to heal and they don't believe in therapy, then you're going to basically be like them. But if you're surrounded with people who, as you said, they poke you to try a healing session, try going to a therapist, try
hmm,
do this, read that book, then your perception of therapy will change. Um, so to reach the awareness level that yes, I am someone who needs therapy. And just between parentheses, we all need therapy regardless if you have traumas or not, because therapy is not just to help you heal from your traumas. Therapy will help you understand yourself. What
hmm,
are your triggers, how to be a better person. And if you're someone who, like most of us, have many roles to play, like a husband, a father, a friend, a business owner, therapy will help you to identify what triggers you here and how to manage your emotions. It will help you be emotionally intelligent, more emotionally intelligent. So I think now we should start changing the conversation that therapy is for everyone, not just for mentally ill people, to change that narrative. And it's gonna take some time.
hmm. Okay, may I ask why men in particular? You're so
Well,
focused on men, right?
I work with everyone. I work with everyone, but my passion is to raise awareness on men's mental health. And because I lost my dad to suicide 13 years ago, and back then we couldn't even say the word suicide. It
Hmm.
was عيب, which is a
Yeah.
stigma. Um, I did not, I and everyone around Baba, we did not know how to read symptoms. So we literally did not know that he was struggling. And he felt shame to come out and say that I'm not okay. He would every now and then say, I'm just having a bad day. And that bad day grew to be months and then years, and then he hanged himself.
Oh,
That incident, or that way of losing someone you love so much just because of this,
was a big trigger.
made me so angry to an extent that I will heal so no girl will go through the same pain that I went through, and at the same time no dad will have to go through what my dad went through. So I was very passionate, and I'm still am so passionate to create a genuine and authentic safe space for men that offers non-judgment support. So that's why. And I believe when we support men as a community, as a society, and as women, we are basically contributing to healthier relationships, healthier
Hmm.
businesses, and healthier generations to come. Because as a woman, it's my responsibility to support any man in my life. And that's the narrative. This is one of the obstacles, for example. I receive a lot of, I don't want to say hate messages. Hate is a big word, but women
Hmm.
don't understand why I raise so much awareness on men's mental health. You're not a real woman. You just focus on men. What about women empowerment? And I was like, hold on. Women empowerment equals men empowerment. So let's drop that narrative and really focus on the big picture. The big picture is everyone should be healthy. Everyone should have the luxury of being listened to, supported. Everyone has this birthright to feel that they are loved and seen and heard. And unfortunately, men don't get to have that.
Yeah.
Yes, the conversations are now more يعني the conversations are there now, men's mental health, and you could see a lot of people are now becoming interested in the topic. But what are we doing in real life? What are the actions that we're doing? That's my issue now. That's the gap that I'm doing my best to fill that void of what are you doing as a woman? as a sister, as a mother, as a wife, as a girlfriend? What are you doing? Nothing.
Hmm.
Almost nothing. So I feel that we should really start to drop our egos, drop our pre-knowledge about something. There has to be an unlearning process so we can relearn how to do things differently.
You cannot fill the filled cup. You have to empty the cup and fill it again, right?
It doesn't have to be filled. It's a cup. We can fill it. We can remove. Yani, it's a cup. You know,
Yeah,
you can empty it and you can fill it.
yeah.
So empty that cup of the stigma, the aib, the should, the must, the ego, whatever it is, and then fill it with an open mind, a safe space, awareness, action, compassion. We need to empty our cups from everything we have learned and conditioned to believe from a very young age, and then fill it with the things that will serve us and serve everyone
Okay.
around us.
So you work with business leaders to help them
Yeah.
develop healthier mindset, just like you said, and
Mhm.
lifestyle, improve their lifestyles. What
Love
are
themselves.
the what are the most common obstacles and limiting beliefs you see in this group?
What would my wife think? What would my wife think? I don't know how to have fun. I can't have my me time because I have a business waiting for me or I have responsibilities at home. I cannot do this. My dad doesn't believe in me. We have a wounded generation.
Wow.
We have a wounded generation.
How
Um,
serious?
it's very serious because what happens is that if you are still acting from a place of wound, and when I say wound means you feel pain, and sometimes that pain it translates into anger, into fear of being in a relationship, distracting yourself at work. So you want to be this overachiever, you want to be this successful person, but in reality, you're just in pain. And that pain is going to go to your kids and their kids and to your wife and whoever is in your life. So it's very serious. And in companies, it translates into micromanagers, bad leaders, bad influence, trust issues. So when basically I work with those business leaders, I do my best to help them realize that what you're doing
Yeah,
is not just helping you, is also
that's
helping the environment around you.
that's that's the next question. If how do you approach helping them to overcome these challenges?
With an open mind, with an open mind and lots of compassion. The thing
So
about men, if
yeah,
we're just talking about the business leaders from a men's perspective, they really want someone to listen to them. Even though they show that mask that I'm fine, I'm okay, but they're not. They really genuinely need someone to listen to them. And because they are solution providers or solution oriented, once you give them that solution, they will put the work. So the difference between working with a woman, for example, and a man is quicker to take those actions
to
because he
adapt.
just wants this pain to end. So just give it to me. A woman is more emotional. So when you tackle those emotions and tell her that she's going to feel more confident and she's going to live a lighter life, she will take the actions. But for a man, when you tell them that, listen, when you do this work, not only you're gonna heal yourself or you're gonna become a better business leader, but also it will affect your family and you will basically be a role model for your kids. When you
Hmm,
say that, the man will say, "Or yes, I want to be a good role model for my kids." So he does the work. The difference between both is that the man does the work in secrecy
hmm.
for most of them. They don't want to be seen working with a therapist or a
Yeah.
mental health coach or I'm happy to refer you in secret, for example. The woman would basically just say it out loud. Oh my God, I'm working with this, I'm doing that. But I'm happy at least that they are doing the work now. So yeah.
Okay. You have to build that big trust. So
Mhm.
men, let's say in particular, can be I can feel more comfortable talking to you, being convinced that there is a solution. Who approaches first? You or them? They get referred to you, or they're
Before
just
it
like,
was before it was me because I was cracking my way into I'm a woman raising awareness on men. Now it comes to me as a referral from clients and companies. Basically, they are all over LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is my gold mine when it comes to companies working on any kind of well-being program. But when it comes to coaching, it's coming through LinkedIn and referrals.
perfect. Okay. I love stories. I don't know how much you were able to share one, but in addition to your work with business leaders as coaching, also you have the podcast and you also interview men about their
Yes.
mental health and struggles and stuff. So without names, let's say, just like have you this story stuck in mind because it's so inspiring or so there is a lot of big change back there because you were involved or you heard something never expected, like a story that has impressed you.
Actually, one just came to my mind. Um, we have covered a lot of um, men's mental health topics like single dads, new dads, divorce, anxiety, depression, suicidal thoughts, and all of that. But there's one guest who came to the show and
Hmm.
he had no traumas, no baggage. He was raised in a very healthy environment. So my face was like,
Mhm.
what? How did that work? And the thing is, his mom made a conscious decision. I will not raise my kids the way I was raised. So she was very aware to break that cycle at a very young age, even though they were living in Saudi Arabia. They had a very conservative family. It was very tough, but she did it. And now he's in a very healthy and conscious place. He has his struggles, he has his bad days, but he knows how to manage them. And now he has two kids, and his two kids are brilliant, Daniel.
Oh,
They are brilliant. But he tells you that to be a healthy parent is 10 times hard work than not being a healthy parent because it
oh,
requires a lot of work, but it's very useful and it's beneficial. So my face in that episode was all the time shocked and surprised, like how can someone live a trauma-free life?
wow.
But he's a living proof. He and his family is a living proof. God bless his mother for making that decision. That's it. It ends with me here. And
Wow.
that basically يعني not translates, it summarizes everything we're working towards, which is end the cycle. It's not
At
gonna be
least,
easy, but it's worth it.
at least he has some ears surrounding him to relieve, let's
Absolutely.
say, his stress, right? Someone to listen to him.
Someone to listen to and to be raised in a safe environment helps you to grow up as a mature, emotionally mature person.
Mm,
You know, you won't be triggered easily. You won't be feeling insecure as much as someone who was raised by an abusive parent. So it's really important that we take this and learn how to create that safe environment. But it all starts within ourselves. So work on yourself, work on your baggage, so you can give that back to your kids or whoever is in your life. It really makes a difference because it's like a dominoes effect, whether it was good or bad.
yeah. Okay. Either it's amplifying or same or
Absolutely. You're either amplifying traumas or you're amplifying health.
mm, amplifying health. How is that?
If you are living with a toxic parent or living with a toxic partner, you have two choices. You're either going to become like them, so
Mm,
you will end up two toxic people at the same house, or you're going to say, this is not for me, I'll end this. When you end that relationship and you put yourself first or you put your health first, you're basically ending a toxic pattern, a toxic cycle. moving forward, if you have kids, for example, or siblings, and you share that knowledge with them, you're teaching them how to prioritize their health and not take any toxic behavior from anyone. This is how we amplify health, by leading by example, but also starting with ourselves. So awareness, then action. It all goes back to awareness and action. But the action part is not as easy as we make it sound. It's not as simple as we make it sound. There are sacrifices to do. There are big decisions to make, but the cost makes you question, am I able to pay that much? The cost is your health, is your mental health, do I really want to pay a big price on just staying with someone I love, regardless of who that person is? So I'm one of those people who have unpopular opinions, which is if you're living with a toxic parent, cut them off. Cut them off. We can
But
always love people.
where do you consider this protecting my own uh, let's say mental health, or being entering into a different area of selfishness?
That's not selfishness. Selfish is good. We want people to be selfish for the good reasons. That's one of the words that we have given a negative meaning to it. We're not asking people to be narcissists. That's something else. But being selfish when it comes to your peace, inner peace, well-being, and why not? Why not? So no, be selfish, prioritize yourself with no harm to yourself and to others.
Okay. Amazing how the time just like went by very fast. And maybe we'll have another session because you have a lot of insights back there, and I have a lot of questions.
I'll
But
be happy to.
usually I end up with a wrapping fun part. So if you don't mind, are you okay?
Yeah, yeah.
It's okay. So if you could have a superpower, what would that be and why?
I'm already full of superpowers,
Oh,
but I would add
beautiful.
to it. I think I would add to it just reading people's,
Hmm.
uh,
Minds.
not minds. I can do that. Like
Oh,
this, um, people's emotions or people's intentions. If there's a sign above their heads or people's insecurities, that
oh.
would also be a nice superpower to have these days.
So you have already this superpower and you want extra. Okay.
Of course, amplify my powers.
What was the most adventurous thing you have done in your life?
Traveling to Spain on my own.
What? Okay, how's that?
Traveling to Spain on my own. I just woke up one day and I saw that one of my favorite musicians, the two cellos, were playing in Barcelona. And I have never traveled alone. I always have friends with me. I
Hmm.
booked a concert ticket. I booked everything I needed to see in Barcelona, and then I applied for my visa and the flight. And I just went 7 days on my own. I got mugged,
Oh,
lost, went to the wrong streets and all of that, but I ended up having the most fun trip ever. And now I don't think I will ever travel with anyone in my life again.
so you will do it again alone, and you will go for it.
Absolutely, but make sure that I won't get, like
Mugged
I've
again,
learned my lesson, what to do, what not to do, but traveling solo on my own was the most adventurous thing.
which you will
If
do it
that's
again.
if that's the fun part. But if you want the serious part, is leaving the house when I was 18 years old. That would
Hmm.
be an adventure. That was an adventure.
Okay, last one. What's your
Yeah.
guilty pleasure when it comes to food or entertainment?
Guilty pleasure. Eating chips. Every time I would say to myself, Rahaf, this is your last bag of chips. Enjoy it. It's the last one. I love eating chips. The activity of eating chips while watching a movie is something that I love. So
I enjoyed every second of it, and I just have a million questions in my mind. But I promise this will not be the last session with you, right? So thank you very much for showing up today, and it will be our pleasure to have you again.
Mine as well. I hope people find value in it, and people, love yourselves.
Thank you. So people, love to have you here also with us, and see you soon next Monday Talks. Bye-bye.